Now, here's a quick one about yet another polyamorous couple, a gal who's having a freaking meltdown because thanks to the polyamorous relationship that she wanted, she now is pregnant. She got pregnant by one of her lovers. She doesn't know which lover it is, but it's one of them. And she obviously wants her boyfriend now to stop doing the open relationship thing and obviously help her with the child. But guess what? He doesn't want to close the open relationship, and he certainly doesn't want to raise some other dude's child. So she's in a bit of a mess. Titled, Girlfriend Wants to Put the Genie Back in the Bottle. There's no put the genie back in the bottle. There's no putting the toothpaste back in the toothpaste container. It says here, my girlfriend Chrissy came home last week at 8 p.m. on what was supposed to be an overnight date. She barely said hello and went to take a long shower. She finally came out with a small trash bag, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said she was throwing away everything her other partner had ever given her. They had a fight, he gave her an ultimatum, and she broke up with him. Monday, she said I needed to devote more time to our relationship. I usually have 2 to 3 nights a week with other people, and we typically try to schedule those dates when she has plans with others. I agreed to work on it, and we made a weekend plan as well. 2 to 3 dates with other women. Why don't you just break up and be single? On Tuesday night, I had a date scheduled, and when I got home around 11 p.m., she was waiting on me. She'd been crying and needed to talk. The short story is that she hasn't been fulfilled by her other partners for a while, and she wants to put the brakes on and de-escalate things. Well, if he's having a good time, if she's having a good time, then no problems, keep on going. But if she's not happy with things, and you're going to see why, well, we got to put a brake on things. She wasn't asking to close exactly, but to not talk or look for new people. Most of the dates are casual, friends with benefits types, and rarely long-term. So not being able to look for new people would starve me out eventually. Starve? But I agreed to a temporary slowdown until she felt better. Well, the way these things usually work, what I've come to learn, is that supposedly people see each other for a little bit and that's it, and they move on. Hence the needing for new victims, in my opinion. So obviously she says no new people. That eventually means it's going to just be those two, which she doesn't want. Today I checked, and both of her dating profiles are down, and she has scrubbed her E&M from her other social profiles as well. I'm afraid she wants to move into a monogamous relationship, which I'm opposed to. We've had an open relationship for 5 years. He doesn't want to do it. And I think this whole thing is stupid, but the point is, she wants to change the rules, and he's like, not happening. We live together largely at her request. I'm hoping tonight we can talk and figure out what is going on and try to fix it. I mean, I could just cut back to just one partner if that would help. I don't want to break up with her, but I don't think I could be happy being mono. Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. Now we're going to get to the what's really going on here and how much of a jackass she is. More relevant information. When we first moved in together, Chrissy had unprotected you-know-what with one of her hookups and got chlamydia and then transmitted it to me. And he stayed with her. She was that irresponsible. I would have kicked her to the curb. I wouldn't have gotten in this mess. Since then, we had the rule that condoms would be used with all of our partners. Gee, that makes sense. Chrissy and I sat down after I got home and talked about what she wanted to do. She had broken up with Joe, and she is going to pause on seeing her other partner. She doesn't want me looking for or talking to anyone new and letting the ones I'm seeing to fade away naturally. I asked her if this had anything to do with her breakup with Joe, and she said partially. I told her I needed to know the whole story, if I was to understand why we were doing this. The story started a few weeks ago. Chrissy and Joe attended a party at Joe's friend's house. They were drunk, a little high, and started to have sex, but realized they had no condoms, so Chrissy went ahead and had unprotected sex. Isn't this the girl that made the rule that you always wear condoms? So it's another time. Not a second time, but another time. And what happened the other time? She got chlamydia and passed it to him. They had impromptu sex one more time with no condoms handy. Monday they got into it because Joe attempted to have sex again without condoms, and Chrissy shut him down since there were condoms handy. He said it was unfair to keep switching the rules around and said from now on they were to do it without a condom. She argued and finally broke up with him over the issue. All these people are jackasses. I said I was glad she stood up to him, but was a little disappointed she broke our rule the other 2 times. Disappointed? I would have stronger words than that. She said she was sorry and started to cry. Of course she did. I asked her if there was something else, and she was finally able to tell me that she was late. And Tuesday, when I came home to find her crying, she'd done a home pregnancy test and it came back positive. Well, that's what happens, you idiot. When you have unprotected SCX with multiple people, something like that's going to happen. She said she hadn't missed any of her pills and couldn't explain why, but Friday she's had an appointment with her OBGYN to get a blood test and discuss her options. Due to the 2 times with Joe, she couldn't be sure if I was the father or not. Chrissy said if it was Joe, she would terminate it, but if it was mine, she might want to keep it. So this poor child is going to be, what's going to happen because she and her moron lover were reckless. It's a shame. I said if she wanted to keep the baby, I would stay with her until at least after the baby was born. But I told her I couldn't promise to be okay raising somebody else's baby. Translation: I'm not going to be okay with that, and I'm not going to do that. And you know what? He shouldn't have to. I would have gotten into this mess because I have half a brain, but early on, seeing the problems like the chlamydia, bye. I know she is scared, and part of me is happy that I may be a father, but that is overshadowed by the fact that a baby might not be mine. According to the internet, the baby can't be tested for DNA till the 7th week, and I don't know if they have to do an ultrasound this early and tell how far along she is. So, another poly situation, open relationship, open marriage is a complete freaking mess. And one of 2 things is going to happen. She finds out this kid is not his, and she terminates the pregnancy, and that child dies because of her and her lover's irresponsibility. Or the child is this guy's, and she has it, and these 2 morons are going to raise this child in this world. I mean, this poor kid. But again, guys, to show you, this thing doesn't work. It always ends in disaster. Don't do it. Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. And it's funny to me always when things aren't working out for her. That's it. Let's close the open relationship, even though 9 times out of 10, that's what she wanted. And because of her irresponsibility, now she's pregnant. And this guy, I don't know how he's not kicking her to the curb at this point, okay? Okay, fine. That child's mine, and it can be proved. Fine. I'll provide for the child, but we're done. Untrustworthy. It's a big freaking mess.